Okay, here's part 2. The second video in this series of 2 videos where I'm going to discuss my disease. So, this is going to be my journey on how I got diagnosed all the way until now. So from here to here, from point A to point B. So, when I was 16, I started having these symptoms. Of chronic pain, fatigue, migraines, everything like that. So, I started having all of these symptoms. I started having all of these things go wrong with me. I started having random, swelling up places. Like I would just be walking down the street and one day, and then the next day I'd wake up and the whole leg is swollen, or my rib cage is swollen and popped out, or my, just everything. Everything was wrong. And it was like something was attacking my body constantly. 24/7, 365, just attack. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it could be. And for the 3 months leading up to my first neurologist visit, I went to the doctor 17 times. 17 times in 3 months. Because I always had a major injury. I had concussion, which I'll get to that, and that's what we think triggered my mitochondrial disease. It triggered the progression of mitochondrial disease, and it kind of pulled it out of the closet and just let it roam free. I had this concussion, and we think that after that is really when I started seeing the really bad symptoms, and that's true. So I was having all these doctor's visits, and go to one and there's nothing wrong with you. You go to another and there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. Nothing at all. You're healthy. You're a wimp. You're faking it. Something like that. Which, that frustrated me the most, is because other than my parents, no one believed me. No one. Not my coaches, not my friends, no doctors, nobody believed me. They all thought I was a wimp. They all thought I was just trying to get out of playing basketball, or get out of playing football, or get out of running track, or cross country, or basketball, or whatever. They just thought there's nothing wrong with me. So finally we go to this doctor, and take some blood, and some of the tests came back, and it indicated that I had high CPK levels in my blood. I think it's CPK. I'm not quite sure. CPK or CPH. One of those two. It's been 4 years. But it was high, and when that level is high, it was like 10 times higher than normal. When that level is high, it indicates a heart attack or a stroke, or like a seizure, or a few other things. And I hadn't had any of those. So the doctors saw that and said, you need to go to the emergency room right now. So my parents rushed me to the emergency room. I get to the hospital, stay there for like 8 hours. They pump fluids in me. We just sit there. They do some tests. They do some blood tests, some urine tests, and nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. They say, well, we don't know why this level was high, but you need to go see a neurologist. That would probably help. So we go see a neurologist, and the neurologist asked me, well, have you had any recent head trauma? Well, about 6 months ago, I had a concussion. I was driving down a lane in basketball. I was going full court, so I was going as fast as I can. I faked a crossover and in and out, and I came around this guy, and I pushed around him, and when I pushed around, I was driving, and I fell over. I hit somebody's knee. And when I hit their knee, my head hit their knee, then I landed on my knees and fell back. It knocked me out for like 5 seconds. And I fell back, and my head just went, bounced off the floor, bounced off the hardwood. And all I remember is after that is looking up and someone picking me up, and then I don't remember anything. I ended up making my free throws, and I scored 17 points that game. after I got my concussion, but I don't remember any of it at all. That's just what my dad and my friends told me. And I remember, like, the next day, I remember the next night, or that night, after I'd gone through the concussion protocol, they said, you have a severe concussion, you need to go home, don't sleep, rest, just rest. I was out of school for like 2 weeks because I couldn't function. But I remember, and this was hilarious, we're at the Whataburger drive-thru. We're driving through Whataburger, and I heard this voice. There was this man that looked and sounded exactly like Charles Barkley. And I could not stop laughing. I remember that, and I remember laughing so hard it made my head hurt. And it made my stomach hurt. I felt like I was going to throw up. And that's all I really remember from that situation. Now, going back to the doctor, he said, well, could have caused some things, some brain trauma and things like that. We'll do some tests. There's some CAT scans, MRIs, full body MRIs, head scans, CT scans, all kinds of stuff, with contrast, without contrast, everything. I ran through the mill of tests. All kinds of freaking tests. Just everything you can imagine. Even this one test where they put like needles connected to wires throughout your body, and they just probe you and they shock you. And it's not like it's a shock, but it hurts. It hurts too. When going into it, guy who's doing the test, he goes, so it's gonna hurt. And I said, okay. So I'm not worried about that. He goes, it makes grown men cry. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't cry, but I'll tell you that it hurts, but it's more uncomfortable than anything. And it's one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever experienced in my life. And I had to do that test 3 times. After those tests came back, there's nothing wrong. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. Nothing is wrong. We don't know. Or, well, okay. That's totally wrong. Test came back, and we don't know what's wrong. It's not nothing was wrong. We don't know what's wrong. I was kind of getting away from myself. They said, we don't know what's wrong. We know it could be a few things. It could be this late form of muscular dystrophy. Could be MS. Could be ALS. All kinds of stuff. You know, Lou Gehrig's disease. They kind of were like, they were like, well, we need to figure out what this is, and they didn't know what it was. So they said, one thing we have to do this, is we have to do a muscle biopsy. Now, what a muscle biopsy is they take a leg and they cut about that much. They cut about a hole about this big. Let's see. That big. They cut a hole about that big, that long. They just cut a slice. They open you up, and they take out like 5-6 pieces of muscle about a quarter size. And they take that muscle out of your leg. They test the muscle. So I was doing it, and I thought it was awesome. I had the pictures on my phone, so that's what I did. I had my phone out. I was sitting there. I was doing all these things. I was like this, recording it, taking pictures, all kinds of crap. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Wasn't awesome. It hurt. They did it while I was awake. I was awake. You have to be awake for it. It doesn't hurt them cutting into you because they numb you, obviously, but the shots hurt. It literally felt like those bullet ants, what they describe a bullet ant biting you. It felt like bullet ant bites. It was like they put the needle in, it was a thick needle, and they spray it, and they put it in you, and they inject it, and it feels like something just stabs into your skin and just burns. It lasts for about 5 seconds per shot, and they had to do like 20-something shots or something like that. Numbed up my leg from my knee all the way to basically my hip. Just made that whole area numb. Cut into my muscle. I was making jokes. I was having a fantastic time. I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm awake, doing an outpatient procedure. I considered it major surgery because I wasn't going to be able to play sports for a while. And I still had my hopes that I was going to get over it. And the doctor comes out of the operating room after he sews me up, and they put me in a room so I can put my clothes on, do all my stuff, and I'm doing my stuff, put my clothes on over top of the bandages. I'm making sure I'm pushing on it, like, does that hurt? Does it hurt? I want to know if it hurts. It doesn't hurt because it's numbed. But putting all my clothes on. It's cold outside, so I remember exactly what I was wearing. I was wearing this Indiana sweatshirt right here, and I was wearing black Adidas pants. The pants that I wear for every single Indiana game, because that night, it was February 14th, it was Valentine's Day, 2014, or 2013, and I was watching an Indiana game that night, so that, I think they were playing Michigan State. It was a Big Ten game, definitely, because it was February, so it was one of the late Big Ten games. Let's see, that would have been Michigan State, Ohio State, or Nebraska, one of those three. For some reason, those are the three teams that come to my head. It was one of those three. But Indiana was playing, and that year was the year after. It was the year after we. No, it would have been 2014 because it was the year after. It was the year after Cody Zeller and Victor Oladipo and all of them left, and Jordan Hall's graduated. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, he goes into the waiting room for my parents, and he goes, "It's something wrong with his mitochondria." So I could tell just by the way the muscle looks. So my muscle was like a hot pink. It wasn't like a dark like blood red. It wasn't like red like this. It was like a hot pink. I remember that, and I remember him taking the piece of muscles out and me looking at him, and it was like, it looked like neon pink. It was weird, and I remember that, and I didn't know that he had come out into the waiting room and told my parents there was something wrong with my mitochondrial cells until probably about a year later, and it's really tough for me to talk about this next part. I don't like to sugarcoat things. My mom and dad, they sugarcoat stuff too, but I don't like sugarcoating things. I never sugarcoat anything. I tell you exactly what it is, how it is, and how I perceive it. That's what I do. I don't ever sugarcoat things. I hold my tongue sometimes, but I don't sugarcoat things. So I told him, I said, "Look, just tell it to me straight. What is it?" And he said, "Well," he says, "no matter what it is," he's like, "you will never be able to play basketball again." He said that I will function on the court about 10% of what I normally do. And my body was only functioning at 20-25%. So that's 2.5% function of how much my body can function compared to what it was able to. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but I could only function about 10% of what I originally could have done. And he was like, I said, so there's no way I'll be able to play again. And he said, no. It's like, he's like, I would not get your hopes up. He's like, no matter how hard you try, this is not something you can will yourself through and push through and get over. You will not be able to get over it. And that just killed me. I did not want to do anything. I wanted to lay in my bed and die. I did not want anything. I just wanted to just lay there, just fade away. I mean, my friends that I thought were my friends, that were basically only my friends because of basketball, I was no longer friends with them. The other people that were friends with me, I went to a private school at that time, and the kids there were very fake, and they were rude and entitled and stuck up, and once I told them what I had, they didn't believe me. So, and kids are mean. So but I blew that off. That didn't affect me. But then my three best friends stuck with me. Lewis, Cameron, and Matt. They stuck with me. Those guys stuck with me, and those still are my three best friends to this day. I talk to every single one of them every day. It's 2017. I met Lewis in 2013. I met Matt 11 years ago, and Cameron 9 years ago. So I've been friends with those three guys basically over half my life. So, well, I guess I met Matt 10 years ago and Cameron 9 years ago. But anyways, I've been friends with those guys for a decade, basically. So, you know, they stuck with me. They stuck by me if I needed anything in the world. Like seriously, Matt and Cameron Lewis played football, and when I was really sick on the days where I was really sick and I was homebound school. So homebound schooling is teacher comes to you. It's only in certain ISDs and stuff like that, but my teacher from the school district sends a teacher to your house and teaches you. Your teachers from your classes in your high school give the work that everybody else does to that teacher, and that teacher brings it to you. I was homebound for 2 years, for my junior and senior year of high school. I didn't get to walk my graduation. I didn't walk on my graduation. That was by my choice, though. I didn't feel like I had earned it. I'm very competitive, and I feel like if I couldn't go to school and do it full time, I didn't earn it. And I broke some of my family members' hearts, and I'm sorry that I did that, but for me, I just didn't feel like I had earned it. It wasn't my place to walk up there. Everybody else there earned it. I didn't. That was how I believed. If I could do it differently, I don't know if I would do it differently anyways. But anyways, so those guys were playing football at the time, and Cameron quit football because a few different reasons, because he didn't like playing anymore. The coaches didn't know what they were doing. Very unsafe practices. The coaches were they were intense to the point where it was aggressive towards some people. And so all my friends and we just didn't want to play football anymore. And Cameron used to come over to my house every day after school and bring me a Coke and fries from McDonald's. He didn't do it every day. I shouldn't say every day. I'd say probably 3 times a week. 3 out of the 5 days in a school week, he'd come do that. Matt would, at lunch, come over at lunchtime and bring me McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. It was all right by the school, so he would just pick it up, go over to me. He would sneak out during lunch, go pick it up, bring it to me. Then he would go back to school. And Lewis, after school, Lewis come over, play video games with me. And it was rough. Other than those little moments in my life, it was a rough time. Getting off topic. Back to the doctor. The doctor said, you'll never be able to play again. My dream from the time I could talk, I wanted to do this. I wanted to be an Indiana University basketball player. I wanted to be on that poster right there. I wanted to be on that poster. I wanted to be front and center on that poster. I was going to be number 10. That was going to be my jersey number. I was going to be number 10 for the Indiana Hoosiers. I was going to start at point guard for the Indiana Hoosiers. Never happened. I'm 20 years old now, and it never happened. And my goal was, after that, I didn't want to go to the NBA. I never wanted to be a professional player. Like, that was never my goal. If anybody ever talked to me, do you want to be a pro basketball player when you grow up? No, I want to be a coach. Never wanted to be a basketball. Never wanted to do that. I wanted to play at Indiana just for the pride and because of the history, the pride, the program. Like, that's one of the top 5 premier programs in the country. There's maybe 2 bigger places to play basketball in the entire country. That's it. Indiana is one of those programs that's a dream place. And that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to do that. Then I wanted to become a coach's assistant at Indiana, and I wanted to. And that still is a possibility if I get healthy. But that was my goal. I wanted to be the coach at Indiana, even if I was just a shooting coach or something. Coach at Indiana. I don't care how much money I get paid. I'm in Indiana. I'm playing basketball I would have been coaching for Indiana. That was my goal. And all that got just thrown down the drain. It was the second saddest day of my life. Saddest day of my life was when my uncle died. But that was the second saddest day because I hadn't lost anybody. I lost myself, but I didn't lose anybody. Like, I didn't lose my sister or my mom or dad, and knock on wood that I never have to. That I could not imagine going through that. But it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was horrendous. It was, yeah, it was not a good time. I was depressed. I didn't want to live anymore. I just wanted to just lay there and die. And it didn't, and I don't anymore. But this didn't happen overnight. I had to work on it. I worked 4 years on doing that. And right now I'm at a place where I'm actually happy. But I know I don't look like it right now, but trust me, I am happy. But after he told me that, we went home and nobody knew what to say to me, so I just locked myself in my room. I just went in my room, locked myself in there, just played video games, ate junk food, laid there, just did it. Didn't, you know, I just gave up. And one of the things that really got me through it was knowing that, no matter how much I wanted to, die, I was never going to try to kill myself. I never wanted to. Because of my sister. She needs someone to look up to. And I know she looks up to my dad and mom. But she needs someone to look up to in me. I need to be the example for her. I need to push through it for her. I need to be an adult. I need to be successful for her. So that was my biggest thing, was Brooklyn wouldn't want you to do this. Brooklyn would want you to be successful and be happy. So you got to push through it. And it took me 4 years to do that. But in that 4-year time period, I had some rough times. Christmas of 2015. No, of 2014, because it was going into 2015. So 2014, December 20th through December 29th, I was in the hospital. I was actually there on the 19th, but I stayed at home on the 19th, but I was admitted on the 20th. I also have something called gastroparesis, but mixed with a mitochondrial disease, and that's a gastrointestinal disorder. And it mixed with mitochondrial disease is not very good. It was really bad. I had basically 10 or 12 days, because there was a couple days leading up to the 19th I was sick too, where I was throwing up 50 to 100 times a day, and it was pain and suffering. I was in there over Christmas. I didn't even get to go home and celebrate Christmas. My family had to celebrate Christmas. My mom and sister had to celebrate Christmas that morning without me, and they came to see me. They would stay all day. They'd go home at night and sleep. They woke up on Christmas morning. Brooklyn and my mom, they opened the presents, came to my hospital room, and Brooklyn and I remember this, and it's the saddest moment of my life, saddest moment of this disease, I should say. I was laying there, and I was just laying there, and I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, I couldn't move. And I remember Brooklyn was sitting right beside me on this bed, and she was like, "Bubby, look at this. I got this for Christmas, and this for Christmas, and this for Christmas," and I couldn't do anything. I was just completely helpless because of this disease. I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. I was laying there like this the whole time. My eyes were barely open. It was horrible. And I kept going though. I kept trying to get better after that. I tried harder and harder after that to get better, and I did eventually. But after that Christmas, I had some bad spurts emotionally, where I was just torn apart. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm about to graduate high school, and I can't even do this. I can't even do that. I couldn't even drive. I had my license, but I couldn't even drive. I was so sick I couldn't even drive. So I was like, how am I going to survive on my own? And I didn't know if I could. I still don't know if I can, honestly. I still don't know if that's something that I'll be able to do in the long run. I'm hoping it is. I believe it will, but I don't really know. You know, I don't know. I know how I want to do it, but I don't know how I'm going to obtain that goal. And I'll try. I'll keep trying. I am trying. Trying to find. I had to quit my job at Bass Pro Shop because I was this disease after like 2.5 months, and I'm trying to find something else. I'm trying to find something to do. I'm trying to find something I can be successful at. And I don't care how much effort it takes. I just want to find something I'll be happy at, even if it takes me, you know, even if I have to work 50 hours a week to be successful at it. I'll find something that I can do that, and I'll do it. I'm gonna be successful one day. Mark my words. There's no question. I'm gonna do it. Might be 20, 30 years from now, but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. You just gotta believe in it. Yeah, and this is kind of the purpose of me coming on YouTube, is to share my, not the success, not like money or anything. That was not it. That's not it at all. Honestly, if I ended up making money from YouTube, that'd be really nice, because it would be something I could actually do full time. But if I don't, then there's other opportunities. I can do it. No matter what it is, I can do it. I know I can. I'm tough enough and strong enough I can do that. But, you know, this disease for me, it's hell. As my sister would say, it's hell. It's the pain every day is like I'm laying there and there's 20 people around me with 10-pound sledgehammers, and they're just boom, 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 just hitting my body the whole time. Like right now, if I lift my arms up like this, you probably can't hear it, but I can feel my back cracking, and my arms hurt, and they hurt really bad. I mean, it sucks. I am not gonna lie. It sucks. My life doesn't suck though. That's the thing. Is my life doesn't suck at all. It doesn't. I have clothes on my back. I have a nice room. I have a nice house. I have a great family. I have an unbelievable, most perfect girlfriend in the world. She's like everything. Her, my sister, my family, they're everything to me. So I have a great support system. I do not have a bad life. And this sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm just talking about what I went through. And I don't complain anymore. I used to. I'm not gonna lie. I used to. Didn't do it a lot, but I did. I don't complain anymore. I don't have anything to complain about. I mean, I guess I do with this disease, but I don't complain anymore. The reason I'm coming on here and sort of complaining is because I'm trying to describe what my disease is. And it's hell. It's pretty bad. But I'm pushing through it. I'm getting over it. I'm pushing through it. I'm getting stronger, getting better. You know, I hit my computer, but I'm getting there. And whatever I decide to do, whatever I set my mind to, I'm going to be successful. I know that. It's just going to take me a while. It's going to take me a little bit, but I'm going to be successful. But my life was pretty bad up until about a year ago. And about a year ago, I was just, one day I just decided, you know, I'm going to start being happy again. I'm going to be the old Derek. The old Derek before my disease was up and down, making jokes, I literally would make up skits and do skits for my family. Because I was obsessed with SNL. I was obsessed with Mad TV. Those were like, I wanted to do that. So, or I wanted to be an actor too. I wanted to do a lot of things. I'm that kid that thought I could do everything in the world. And most of those kids grow up and they do successful things. But I'm that 1 in a billion person that gets kind of screwed and kind of gets a disease and can't really do it anymore. Or some people get cancer and all that. But um, you know, I'm the kid who thought he could do everything in the world, completely invincible. Thought I was completely invincible. I'm not, obviously. But about a year ago, I decided I was going to be the old happy Derek, and now, as my sister says, I'm extra. Right now, I'm not extra or eccentric, but my girlfriend calls me eccentric. I'm very weird. I have a weird vocabulary. I kind of take a little bit of inspiration from this guy being weird, Kenny Omega. You know, the Bullet Club. I kind of take a little bit of inspiration from his promos and stuff. I think it's hilarious. Um, but then, you know, I did all that, and I just decided that it's time for me to be the old Derek, and I became the old Derek. Happier. I started to get a little bit healthier, and it wasn't healthy, but I started to get a little healthier. I was working, I was at a job, I was working, and that didn't work out, and that was my fault, because I thought I could handle more, and I could, and I didn't. It sucked. It sucked that I had to quit. The job itself didn't suck. I loved it. It was awesome. It was so much fun. But it sucked that I had to handle that. I had to do that. I had to quit. But you know, it it sucks. This disease really sucks. And this is kind of like coming on here and venting. And I think as I go on, I think I might have 1 or 2 of these videos a year. But and I know people probably aren't gonna like this video. I think this video's kind of failed big time. But I'm and this is not like a feel bad for me video, but I thought my girlfriend and I have been together for 6 months, and she's like everything. So she's told me that some of her family don't know what my disease is, and some of them don't even know I'm sick. So I decided I was going to make a video, and this kind of goes out to my family and her family, how they don't really know what the disease is. They don't really know how it affects me. And I thought I'd come on here and I'd talk about it. And this is kind of my journey a little bit. I am writing about my journey, kind of like a memoir style. I love writing. It's one of my favorite things. It was definitely my best subject in school. I was a very good writer. So, that's something I think I'd be good at too. That might be something I should do. Okay. But, yeah. I'm making this video kind of for my family, not for viewers or views. This video is definitely for my family. It's for them to know that, you know, I wasn't doing good a while ago, but now I'm doing good. I have a wonderful, amazing, beautiful, awesome girlfriend. I have a wonderful, amazing, beautiful sister. Wonderful, amazing, awesome parents. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. Except $1 million, but, you know. I have to win the lottery to do that. My luck's not very good. I don't think I'm going to win the lottery anytime soon. But, you know, we'll see. I'm doing better now, though. I definitely am. This was my therapy session. You know, so I don't have to go to therapy. This is my therapy session. It's probably not going to get a lot of views. It's probably I honestly don't expect it to get more than like 5 views maximum. But this because it's a 34-minute video right now. But you know, my disease sucks. It hurts. I'm in pain every day. It takes me 30 minutes to an hour to get out of bed every day. It sucks, but my life is not bad. It's not bad at all. I am 100% happy with my life. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, if I could go back and not have this disease, of course I wouldn't have this disease. But if I didn't have this disease, probably never would have met my girlfriend. And from what I know for right now, she's the one. So I never would have met the one. And I never would have had the relationship that I have with my sister, how close we are, because we're both sick. I never would have had that. I never would have had the relationships that I have with my mom and dad where I talk to them about everything. I never would have had that. I would have never met my friend Lewis. Lewis, one of my best friends. My friends Matt and Cameron, I probably wouldn't be friends with them either. I probably would have gone off to college and made new friends. And now I have my same friends, my good friends. It's my group. It's my boys, and I'm good right now. I'm pretty good. I'm getting better too. Knock on wood. But I'm getting better. I'm getting there. Have a lot of help. People take care of me when I'm sick. I take care of them when they're sick. So I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So, but you know, it's not bad. It's not bad. It could be worse. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm hoping and praying to God it doesn't. But it could be worse. And hopefully it gets better. So, this is kind of like a little insight into my journey. If anybody has any more questions or wants me to make another video about this stuff, they can just send me a comment or a message on Twitter or Facebook or something, and we'll see how it goes. But this is going to be the end of the video right now, so whoever is watching until the end of this 36 minutes, which I think is very few people, like, comment, share, subscribe. Please share the video. I'm going to say one more thing. If this does happen to get to somebody else who has mitochondrial disease, it's going to get better. Trust me. If you just keep working and just kind of say screw it, and you just keep pushing through, and you keep going and going and going and going, and you just work as hard as you can at getting better, it will get better. One day, it'll flip a switch in your brain, and you'll be able to get better. Now, you're not going to get cured. There's no cure for it. There's no real treatment for it. But mind over matter, that your mind is a very strong thing. Your mind can convince your body that you can do it. As long as you can convince yourself to do it, you can do it. So keep pushing, keep moving forward. Do not stop. Keep going. Don't ever stop. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. You got, with this disease, you got to be tough. You got to be strong. You got to be mean to it. You got to just, you know, all out. Do not stop working to get better. Get better. Get healthy. Get going with your life. Because this disease does not have to take over your life. It doesn't. And I'm just now realizing that. But it doesn't have to take over your life. You can get through it. You are strong. Everyone with this disease is stronger than a normal person. I guarantee it. You can do it. If you're 7 years old, 10 years old, 15, 20, 50 years old, you can do it. It's possible. Keep pushing, keep going. Please keep going. I don't ever want to hear about anybody else who had to go through the stuff that I had to go through. Keep going and make your life what you want it. Make it what you want it, and you do you. So, thank you for watching this video, whoever you are. Thank you.